So at this stage now, we want to look at how to get the data for age and growth. Age and growth require certain parameters. They require length, they require weight measurement. So the data from the length and the weight are used in determining the age of the fish and also the growth pattern of the fish. Alongside, inside in growth pattern is what's called condition factor. These factors, they require length and weight measurement. But you see, age is not only length and weight measurement that is used as parameters to determine age. There are some other methods of measuring or determining age. The one I just mentioned about using the length and the weight measurement is that it's called the length frequency distribution method. You don't even use the weight in length frequency distribution method for aging. All you need to do is to get the various lengths and also subject it to statistical descriptive measures in statistics. So, but for this purpose of length weight measurement, we want to use some fish to demonstrate. Now we have here, we have identified this species. They are fishes from the Carangidae family. We have identified them as Carans chrysos. Carans chrysos is a jack. You know, the common name is jack, and one of the major primary identification criteria or feature is that it has black spots on the operculum, and not only that, the head is shaped, you know, oblong, unlike Carans hippos, in which the head is a little bit not in this shape, but you know, a little bit flattened at the top. So we are going to use Carans chrysos to get the data for length and weight measurement. So starting with this is my first specimen. So I take the specimen and I put it on the measuring board, you know, with the snout, the mouth region touching the vertical end, and then on the graduated meter rule, you can measure. I mentioned that there are some. If you look at our proforma, we have the total length, we have standard length, we have fork length. So what is total length? Yes, we determine the length in centimeters. It can be in millimeters, depending on the size, especially if you're working, but in centimeters. And it's to the nearest 0.1 centimeter, to the nearest 0.1 centimeter. But for the weight, we normally at times take it to the nearest 0.01 gram. 0.01 gram, depending on the measurement of the scale. Now, coming back to this, so from this particular fish now, we can look at it and say, okay, this fish has a total length of 29.5. So 29.5 will now be recorded. 29.5, record it as the total length, 29.5. Thank you. Same. Now let's come. The standard length. The standard length is distance from the snout that is touching the vertical end of the measuring board to there's an imaginary point called the caudal peduncle. That caudal peduncle is a point where the tail fin matches with the body. The caudal peduncle is the point where the tail fin, this is the tail fin, matches with the body. So at this point we have the caudal peduncle, and if you look at it very well, this particular point is around 19.8 centimeter. So for standard length, we will record 19.8 centimeter. 19.8 centimeter. So now fork length. Not all fishes have fork length. Not all fishes have fork length. But for fishes that have fork length, look at it. This particular fish has a fork tail. Fork tail. Not all fishes have fork tail. That's what I mean. So for this particular fish that has a fork tail, what's the fork tail? The fork tail is fishes with a kind of V-shaped tail fin. It may not be totally V, it may be U, but it is forked. It is indented. So that's like the fork, the indentation. So from the snout to the point where you have the beginning of the V shape or the U shape. So this particular one, for instance, this is covering it. I can take it out and look at it. This is around 22 point, this is 22.6 centimeter. So we will now record 22.6 centimeter as the fore length. So that is length measurement. Now for weight, what we'll do with the weight is that we will now take that particular fish. Don't forget that the fish is number one according to this proforma. The fish is number one according to this proforma, and we have identified the species. There's an eye here. So species Scarans chrysos, and this Scarans chrysos, you underline it because it's a scientific, it's a scientific name. It will be underlined, separately. You know how to write scientific name. The genus name will begin with a capital, and the species name will start with a what? A small letter. So now we come back to the measuring scale. This is a measuring scale, and this measuring scale is the golden meter. Well, it's called electronic compact scale. It will have a model number. In recording, you will indicate the model number, maybe somewhere written. We are going to indicate the model number in a bracket. So let us measure the weight. So we have ensured that the fish is well thawed, so that water from the frozen condition is not adding to the weight. So the fish is well thawed, it's dried already, not totally, but it's dried. At least it's fresh. Okay, so we put it on the scale. Now look at this. Once it stabilizes, we'll take the reading. So this is 249.30. 249.30. So it's shaking. Okay, is it 30 or 28? I think it's 28. 249.28. That is the gram. 249. Okay, so record. Okay, why is it decreasing? Okay, it's coming back. You can see it coming back. Depending on the scale, maybe it's the battery that is getting weak, or maybe from my speech or the hair blowing around. So you record it. So come to the weight. You record the weight as 249. Let's just take it at 249.30. Because of all the variation. So it's in grams. That's what you do in measuring the length and the weight. Later we will show us how to use these two parameters to determine the weight, the age, to determine the growth pattern and the condition factor of the fish. Thank you.